Today we are not starting out hot. My head hurts so bad. Holy cow. In other news, Michaela went home on Friday and picked up a mic for me so I could use it for the vlogs. However, I have no idea how to use this thing. And I was like, let me just Google it. But I can't even Google it because my head hurts so bad. So what do we do in this situation? We rest. I can't even make like proper videos. I can't even make edits. I just probably won't even make the edit. Whatever. So since I'm not doing anything, I'll just kind of riff off my own brain here. But essentially, I'm gonna go into why cancer sucks. All right, so background story. One day I was sitting in class, I was learning about a bunch of cancers, and the teacher said, hey, Asians, she was like going through the list of like, demographics of individuals, and one of the highlights were, to me at least, what spoke out to me the most was that Asians had one of the highest rates of stomach cancer, especially in Asia. But when they move over to the US, it's not the same. So of course, I wonder why. If a stranger ever comes across this video haphazardly, just know that this is not any medical advice. I am a PhD student, so I'm still learning how to comb through the literature. So do take everything I say with a grain of salt. And if you are experiencing anything similar to stomach cancer, please go seek out a physician. So first things first, what's going on with the mercury in fish and cancer? So what I found was that actually you can see by the list of symptoms, I'll put them like right here or something. It's actually quite a lot of symptoms if you overdose or you eat a lot of mercury in fish. But I found in certain articles, which I'll pop here and here, that selenium, the metal, actually is able to somehow mitigate the effects of the mercury on your body. So now let's talk about the four main risk factors. The first one being salt. Of course, everyone adds salt to everything to add flavor, but what it does is it actually hurts the stomach. So the stomach has a lining of mucus on it, to protect it from all the acids and everything. And what salt does is it changes the osmolality, or a fancy way of saying changes the balance of like ions of the stomach, and essentially just like takes away that mucus layer and then starts damaging the actual skin tissue of the stomach. So because of that leads to complications, which ends up leading to cancer. One example is South Korea, which has one of the highest rates of stomach cancer. And the reason for that being is because they pickle a lot of their foods, that one of them really popular being kimchi. I'm only familiar with kimchi though, but I know they do like to pickle a lot of things. Of course, salt is a great preservative, so it can be used for many things, but now because everything is so readily available to us, and our life expectancy has increased so much that we have to worry about these things like cancer. Alternatives are potassium chloride instead of sodium chloride. But I did some more digging into this, and using a lot of potassium chloride can actually cause you heart complications. So one of the take-home messages here is everything in moderation. Another risk factor is H. pylori. H. pylori has been associated with causing stomach ulcers. And according to one of the articles I found, H. pylori contributes to about 50% of stomach cancers. One of the problems with H. pylori though is that it can stay dormant in the system and you don't even know you have it until way later, until it activates itself. So if you are wondering if you have it, you can do one of three tests, one of them being a poop test, the second one is a breathalyzer test, and the third one is an endoscopy, which they basically take a stick and a camera and they shove it down your throat and they take a piece of your stomach lining, which is like pretty aggressive. The third risk factor, which comes as a surprise to no one, is smoking. Smoking in 2019 has been found to be associated with at least or linked to 25% of stomach cancers. According to the review, smoking actually can exacerbate H. pylori, which also, as we know from the previous risk factor, can be associated with stomach cancers. So that, in combination with smoking, makes it even worse. Of course, there are extrinsic factors, like I said, salt in the diet, H. pylori, which you can get in smoking, but the last one is an intrinsic factor, which comes from the inside. that being genetics. Genetics play a huge role in all types of cancers. So some of the big ones are P53 and BRCA1, which are tumor suppressor genes. The other two, MSH2 and MLH1, are DNA repair systems. So of course we have a bunch of genes, and there's certain types of molecules and organisms in your body that's like a checks and balances. So when those are out of whack, everything becomes out of whack. Although I'm unfamiliar with it, I do have to recognize that there are other mutations that I'm not aware of that deal with stomach cancers and genes. Fun fact, humans have 2 copies of the P53 gene, while elephants have 20 of them. And that is why cancers in elephants are extremely rare. So now let's talk about the Asians that move from Asia to the US. In the articles that I've read, they highlight 3 main things that I found. One being a shift or an elevation of socioeconomic status, the second one being hygienic conditions, and the third one being eating more fruits and vegetables. The first one, a rise in socioeconomic status, I'm honestly unsure about, because not everyone who immigrates from Asia to the US rise in socioeconomic status. The second, hygienic conditions, it's very confusing because they didn't explain or define what hygiene meant. Like, is it because they wash their vegetables or wash their food? Is it because that they use a different knife when they chop meats versus when they chop vegetables? I have no idea. And the last one, eating more fruits and vegetables. I have to say I might have to pick a bone here, because there are certain areas in Asia where they eat tons of vegetables and others where they're not. Asia is a very diverse region, so people can have very variable diets, just as like in the US, right? There are certain parts of the US that eat a lot of things versus other parts in the US that don't. So it just depends. But I digress, because I didn't do the research. I'm not an expert in the field. I'm just like poking holes, but are the holes that I'm poking actually the right holes? That sounded weird. Anyway, my head hurts a little less, but it still does hurt. I guess I'll stop ranting to the camera. Thanks for tuning in. Back to the vlog. Guess whose birthday it is? Make sure everyone comments happy birthday, Michaela, down in the comments below. Camera eats first. Happy birthday, Michaela. Because it's Michaela's birthday, that bowl that she had was the best bowl ever. All right, we're gonna be trying some cookies. I got a little shy, so I turned off the camera. What was our consensus of it? I'll let Aaron go first.
It was like okay. It wasn't like the craziest thing ever. I liked the flavor, but I think Michaela makes better cookies.
I think Pillsbury makes better cookies.
I also...
Take me down another paradise.
Oh no!
Also, I forgot, but my girlfriend Michelle wanted to contribute to the conversation of hopelessness versus helplessness, because she is way smarter than me.
Hey everyone, Michelle here. I would like to chime into this conversation about hopelessness versus helplessness that was started last episode. Hopelessness is you lack hope. You're not hopeful, you're not necessarily happy, you're not optimistic about the future or the specific situation that you're in. And it doesn't have to be that deep. You could just be like not that hopeful that you're gonna score a dinner reservation at your favorite restaurant. Or you could be not hopeful about life at all. You could be hopeless about life. Hopeless also can mean, oh, she's hopeless. There is no hope for her, as in she's a hopeless romantic. She is a hopeless wanderer. She's always getting lost. Ah, she's hopeless. Literally, not metaphorically. It could be metaphorical too. Helplessness is you lack the ability to help yourself. So think of it this way. I'm short and I need my kitchen supplies, but they're at the very top of the cupboard, which I cannot reach. I'm staring up at my kitchen supplies helplessly, not able to help myself. And then I find that this term is often paired with somebody else swooping in and providing the help. Helplessness is not as deep. It really just means that someone is kind of useless. Here's my cat!
We're back home. And that pretty much wraps up everything I'm gonna do today. I have no more commentary to add. My head has been hurting all day. So you know what? I'm just gonna sign off here and sign off now. Take care, y'all. And I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. Because I can't do work today, I'm gonna be a little more productive and I'm gonna play some guitar. So today I'm gonna be debuting my song, Headaches at Home. I have a headache at home. That's all I wrote so far. Thank you.